the first question is, what means for you being Belgian?
Well, to be Belgian means to me not to be French, for instance. That's to say, to be French speaking, but not being a French citizen. And I think it's quite easier sometimes when you're abroad, not to be French, but Belgian. Seems like more sympathetic, you know. I would say. But I don't feel proud of my nationality, but I haven't changed it either. I mean, I'm quite glad to be Belgian actually, but I'm not very fancy about nationalities actually. I feel European.
For me, being Belgian, it doesn't mean that much. It's more like I relate it mainly to food, like to French fries and beer and chocolates. So in that sense, I do feel Belgian. But in general, yeah, I feel like we're a quite separated country also because of the two different languages. So I feel like the Belgian identity is not that strong, and for me either. So being Belgian is eating French fries with mayonnaise, is eating chocolate, is drinking beer. And when just like a big, like maybe also football, because our Red Devils are doing quite well. So that's also maybe something that unites us. Oh, and I would also say maybe the big festivals, because we have like Roquechter and yeah, so maybe those things, but in general, not that much, I would say.
What do you think a typical Belgian will be like?
Well, that's difficult to say. I mean, avoiding stereotyping, but typical Belgian would be, I imagine, more open to other languages than maybe a French one, because a Belgian citizen will be in some way more used to listen to other languages. Well, as far as I am concerned, I started learning Flemish when I was 8 at school. So it's easier to add other languages.
I think a typical Belgian is a bit more reserved. In general, we're more like quiet, I would say. Yeah, that's like the main thing I could think of. Like definitely when you compare us to like the Netherlands, which are more loud, and I think in Spain people are in general also more loud. We're a bit more like more to ourselves, I would say.
In which degree do you think languages have an impact on Belgian cultural identity?
A lot. That's what I was saying before. A lot. Well, it might have a bad effect actually too, because I think the French we speak might be not as rich as the French speak, because if you have several languages at the same time, your vocabulary might be a bit poorer, but still you can manage in several languages.
I feel when you're Belgium, you do know a lot of languages. So I think that's like definitely part of our identity. But generally, you don't know them very well, I would say, because I think like we can speak like Dutch people can speak French, and in Wallonia, I think most people can speak some Dutch. But in general, like definitely the Dutch people, we don't like French that much, and most people don't speak it very well. And then not everyone, but like some people also get some German in high school and definitely English. So I would say knowing a lot of languages, but not that well, is like part of our identity and does have an impact, I think.
Would you say there is a Belgian identity as such, or is it more like different regional identities?
Well, I think that there is a Belgian identity, but it's an identity, like I was saying before, not being French, but being a neighbor of France, you know. But I don't think there's a funny story about a Flemish minister who was asked to sing the Belgian hymn, and he started singing the French one.
Oh, wow.
Et la Brabançonne, vous la connaissez? Un peu, oui. Allez-y. Allons enfants de la patrie, le jour de gloire est... Vraiment la Brabançonne, ça. Pardon? La Brabançonne, c'est vraiment ça. Oh, je sais pas. Yves Le Terme a-t-il voulu plaisanter? Pas sûr.
I couldn't sing the Belgian hymn either. I don't know how it is.
Really?
I know it's
Okay.
ugly, like all of them, but that's it. You know, so I don't think there is a very strong feeling of belonging to Belgium. But I feel Belgian, maybe because my family from the south, from Liège, and I was born in Brussels and raised in Brussels. So maybe I don't have such a strong regional identity either.
I think it's more like different regional identities, because yeah, we don't have that much that unites us, I think. Yeah, I think it's more like Flanders and Wallonia. It's like I feel more Flemish than I feel Belgian. And I think it's for a lot of people, it's this way, I think.
And does the cultural division also lead to a political division in Belgium?
Well, yes, it might be because there are political parties who want kind of independence, actually, especially in the Flemish part of the country, but also in the south one among Walloons as well. So yeah, it has an influence, like in Catalonia, for instance. Of course.
We've heard that it's often difficult to reach agreements for the whole of Belgium at a national level. And so does the cultural division also lead to a political division?
Yeah, definitely. Because I think like the Flemish people, like in general, are more like nationalists, and like the people from Wallonia, they're more socialist, and yeah, there's definitely a big divide between us in that sense. So yeah, I even looked it up. I think we went without a government for like 541 days because we can't agree. We're so different, I would say.
Many people claim that Brussels is like another world. Do you agree with this statement?
Well, yes, Brussels is another world and several worlds at the same time, you know, because it's so multicultural. It's a capital, a European capital. So it's like in any other country. If you look at Swiss citizens, for instance, the vote is not the same in Geneva than in the rural areas. It's normal. So it's true that Brussels has a separate identity, a separate color, let's say.
I would say that in a sense, this is true because I think Brussels is much more international. There's so many cultures there, and like in Flanders itself or in Wallonia itself, you don't have that international aspect. So I would say in that sense, Brussels is quite different. But I must be honest, like I think I've only been to Brussels like maybe 3 or 4 times. So I don't know Brussels that well.
Well, exactly the same cliches that others have about German-speaking people or French-speaking people in Canada, for instance. I mean, you know, cliches are not very original, otherwise they wouldn't work and stay.
About Wallonians, I would say there's like this prejudice that they are lazy.
Oh.
Yeah, so in politics they say like, oh, the Wallonians, they're so lazy and all our money goes to them, and that's why we should separate, so yeah, we can be richer. That's basically like very simply put their argument. And for Flemish people, yeah, like I said before, that we're more quiet, more reserved, more to ourselves.
What do you have in common with people from Flanders?
I'm a human being.
Yes.
I mean, many things, obviously. Not the language anymore, because I haven't spoken Flemish for a long time. But yeah, everything human beings can share.
I think, yeah, like the food, our French fries, our chocolate, our beer. And yeah, just the fact that we do speak more languages. And I think that's the main thing. Oh, and also, like, I think a quite funny thing is with regard to languages, like, not everyone, but like, I started talking to someone from Wallonia, and instead of speaking French or Dutch, we speak English to each other. And I wouldn't say that everybody does that, but I think it's quite funny. We just like, we don't really use the other language as much. We rather use English, actually.
Did you feel a big cultural shock when you arrived in Spain?
No. No, no. People around me, my teachers, for instance, at university, thought I was more Spanish than Belgian anyway, because I didn't have the same, well, the same timetable. It was very hard for me to go to bed early, to get up early. But that's a cliche, of course, a big one. So to say, but no, I didn't have any cultural shock. I was, people were shocked when I arrived in Spain, because it was a time when two terrorists from ETA, Spain was trying to get them, and Belgium wouldn't let them go. So that's the only cultural shock I had, because I had to explain about Belgian politics, and to explain that there was a big feeling of wanting independency among some Flemish parties and some Flemish leaders, but no big cultural shock at all.
I think the main thing for me when I was in Spain is that like the rhythm is like so different. Like when you guys are eating, like you eat so late. So, like we would eat at like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and you eat at like 9 or 10. So that's like something that's very different. I also thought that like where I was in Huelva, and I felt like the people were a bit more friendly in general. Like here in Belgium, we also are friendly, but not always. Like if you were less approachable, I would say. And I feel like in Spain and Huelva, people were approachable if you wanted to ask something like the way or something. And things that would surprise foreigners. Yeah, actually, I was just thinking of you, Anna, that, for example, that we do ride our bike here a lot. And also that, like, but that's more applicable to students, that we actually go out throughout the whole week, and that the day for going out is on Thursday and not on Friday, like for you guys.
Yeah.
Something I thought of. And also that like in Belgium, we pay a lot of taxes, I think, in comparison with like other countries, but we do have then in return like quite cheap healthcare and like for school and university, it's also not that expensive, I think, in comparison with other countries. So I think it's also a difference.
I don't know.
What is your favorite?
My favorite, I don't have any favorite monument in Wallonia. I don't know. When I was smaller, I used to go to the Grotte de An. Don't know if you know it. No, I don't have
No.
any special monument.
The girl from Flanders told us the same thing, that like she didn't know any monument in Flanders neither, so it's the same answer.
We're not very chauvinists, you know. I remember when I was in the States and in New York, and a friend told me, but what have the Belgians invented anyway? And well, I didn't know.
Well, actually, I couldn't really think of one, to be honest. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't know.
That was it. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
answering our questions.
You're welcome.
But it was very nice for you to be here. Well, not here, but like with us today. So yeah, thank you so much. And of course, we will send you the video.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
And hopefully until soon when you're back here. See you then.
See you.
Bye.
Subscribe.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.